Yeah, hi, Don. I'm back, and thanks to the conversation again, the opportunity. This is absolutely wonderful. Now, if you recall where we were talking about the general slide in people's expectations, in Americans' expectations. Coming out of the 50s, thinking everything was going to always be like, woo, way the heck up here, and then we're finding out things have been going boop, 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 boop. And we all understand, I hope, that when we have expectations, the difference between what we expect and what we get, especially if it's down, went down, we're not going to be happy. We're going to be disillusioned. So at any rate, Bill's been in for a while. There's a little party in the Oval Office with Monika Lewinski, and he signed something called the Financial Modernization Act, which had been passed overwhelmingly by a Republican Congress. See, and it repealed Glass-Steagall, and it would permit investment banks and commercial banks to merge. And what did this mean? It meant that local banks the commercial banks, no longer needed to worry about the well-being of the local citizen or local community that they just gave out this loan on. So in other words, the person could default on a loan, could fail, could flop, could be a bad loan, a subprime loan could be. See, but the big guys, international big guys, they're going to cover the loan for the local commercial bank. They're free. Now, I tell you, there were plenty of people who says we know what this means. When these rotten subprime loans start failing, the American people are going to have to bail out somebody. It'll probably be Wall Street. Sure enough, that proved to be true. But what really matters regarding fake news is what's on the front page, not the implications of the repeal of Glass-Steagall and all the damage to middle America that this Financial Modernization Act is going to do. No, we're reading about Monika Lewinsky. I remember there was a dress that she kept, that she got a friend pointing out. Wow, real hot stuff there. They got the NDA on them, or the DNA, NDA, DNA. All right, so, that's what we're reading about. So, at any rate, maybe to find a deep state, we should have been reading a little bit more in the, in the business section or the Financial Times or something like that. But it certainly, reading the front page wasn't really doing us much good as far as what's really going on. And by the way, Generation X, they're starting to figure out that things ain't going as good as they had hoped. America, way the heck up here. They're finding it, no, going down. So they're mad. Their parents are mad. 9/11, national disgrace. How could this happen? No one could be as exceptional, as wonderful, as special, super duper as us Americans. How could this have happened? Only a conspiracy. It had to be a conspiracy because that could be. It's got to be a conspiracy. Very unfair. We're disgraced and embarrassed. Dick Cheney comes along. He decides we're going to start torturing people. We're going to torture enemy combatants. Now, there's, as I understand it, Geneva Convention and laws about torturing. people, enemy combatants, etc. And we get a lot of legal mumbo jumbo, but here's what it all comes down to. We're doing things that are disgraceful, and these things are being done in our names. And yet, we're accepted. Oh yeah, by the way, there was all of this freaking bombing. They actually had it on TV. So we're sitting around and we're watching people who, by the way, didn't attack us. That was Osama bin Laden. We decided to attack Iraq. How freaking sick is that? That's real freaking sick. But we ain't talking about that. No. Front page. Boom, we're really letting them have it. Well, I'll tell you what, finally, and that was an embarrassment. It disgraced. 2008, we get a great recession, and now Bush is on the way out. We're going to leave this mess to somebody else. You know, the subprime loans have failed. Housing bubble has burst. We're blaming the poor people who went out and actually bought homes because that's part of the American dream. See, so many immigrants, poor people, people of color, etc. Oh, the American dream, own my own home. Oh, that's going to be so wonderful. So they do it, and now we have people running around saying they're stupid because they didn't understand that 40-page contract with all the small print. Well, I'll tell you what, the banks knew what to do, Wall Street knew what to do. They were too big to fail. And they knew that via Keynesian economics, the government that can print all the money that it wants to would bail out the too big to fail crowd and screw Main Street. And that's exactly what they did. Again, the disgrace continues. And of course, Obama's getting blamed for this, but you know, we're all forgetting. There are plenty of these businesses that were sitting on trillions, and they could have dumped this into the economy to get it moving again. They flat out said, we ain't doing that. Don't you dare regulate us. And I'll tell you what, fake news, forgetting that. This short-term memory stuff. What a shame. And we also ought to remember, of course, when we elected Barack Obama, the bigots were terribly offended. They were really hurt because they had spent so much time saying things like, well, at least I'm not black. You know, those freaking simps, I don't know what their idea of human decency is, but they were terribly hurt that somebody who wasn't quite white enough for them, that they had to make up all kinds of ridiculous theories about, like, the Obama gift certificate or birth certificate, whatever it was. You know. So, and Trump, of course, he Donald, when you brought in on that, I couldn't believe it. And then the way you turn right around right before the election said, okay, President Obama, you know, was born here. Quite a move there for you, Donald. It started making people think that you were not. Oh, yeah, another thing that happened during that collapse, the 401ks, people looking to retire, they thought they had, 100 in the bank. Now they find out it's cut in half. Whatever they had saved through the 401ks that they thought they had, down, rotten, but they bail out. Too big to fail. People got angry, real angry. No idea what to believe. Obama, too, he gets us the Affordable Care Act. We're finally going to have more people covered with insurance. And I'll tell you, and that makes an enemy out of who? AHIP, America's Health Insurance Plans. And they've been getting rich for a long time. That ain't on the front page. Their misbehavior on the front page. We're talking about real news, fake news, the deep state. Find out where the truth about that freaking cartel comes out. The billions of trillions in profits that they made, they ripped people off. We got the most expensive sick care system in the world. The sicker we get, we keep going to these fast food restaurants. The sicker we get, the more they handle, and they're just like bookies. The more they handle, the richer they get. So, we're pretty mad, and Donald comes along, and he promises us that he alone can fix it if we will trust him. He'll fix it all. He alone can fix it all. He's going to go to Washington. He's going to drain the swamp. Now, there's some people say he didn't go there to drain it. He went there to bathe in it. So he comes out with, Russia, if you're listening, find those 30,000 emails. Now, of course, the Republicans, they've been bad-mouthing Hillary for so long. Who knows about what? They didn't get any convictions. But Putin's puppet, he gets elected. Russia delivered those emails the evening that he said, if you're listening, well, the way it works out, they were listening. And he was able to make a big deal out of that stuff. And in the misdirection play, the fake news, the rubbish, the pettiness out of that, we, the dazed and confused, we elect Trump. Donald, you're a lucky guy. You owe a heck of a lot to Vladmir Putin. You shouldn't feel hurt when people call you his puppet. You owe a lot to him. So, at any rate, if people, they call you Donald. This is what people are saying. I know it's going to hurt. They call you an alibi Ike. They call you the NDA, non-disclosure agreement Don. The twit on Twitter. They talk about you that way. It's rough stuff. So, and I'll tell you, so let's get together, talk about, your management style, where you learned about government, how you learned about government with your buddy, your mentor, I should say, your friend, Roy Cohn, and, we'll take it from there. And I look forward. I mean, I hope that I'm making you giving you some tips here. So you just you hang in there and, see you later.